Hello. Hello. It's a live stream. It's a live stream. Welcome, one and all, to the live stream or the very long video, depending on when you're watching this. I have like gook somewhere deep in my esophagus uh, that is being quite annoying and persistent. So, because why not? So we are going to rock with that for this live stream. In the live stream, doing the live stream. It's because it's a live stream. Uh, with a live stream, in a live stream, in a live. I don't know where I'm going. I know what I'm saying. I never know what I'm saying. I don't know how do you start these. How do you do a live stream? Like, I always wonder. Like I know I watch a lot of other content creators do live streams, but a lot of them have more of a presence on the social medias. So they'll start the live stream and they'll already have like sometimes hundreds of people to where they can just kind of hop in and roll with it. Uh, I usually sit at 0 for a minute, and then like one or two people. So I just feel the need to ramble while an audience trickles in. Hi, kitten. It's just I don't know. How does do? If there's one thing that I think I should make myself clear on when making my content, period, in case it's not painfully obvious already, is that I don't know what I'm doing. I do not, in fact, know what I'm doing. Want to say hi to the people? Want to say hi to the people? It's a kitten. It's a kitten that doesn't want to be picked up. That always gets attention. Everybody loves kittens. Everyone loves cute kittens. I love cute kittens. Hey, sweet. Good thing I just took my allergy medication. Otherwise, I'd be dying. I'm already dying because the seasons are changing. So, like this past week, I've just been dying. Hello. Hi. Welcome. Just ready for it. That's probably not helping the cough or whatever I got going on here. It's just mucus and drainage and gook and crap and stupid. I mean, the changing of seasons isn't stupid. I'm very happy that the seasons are changing. I want the seasons to change. I need the seasons to change. Uh, the process just hurts a little bit. So ready for spring. So ready for spring. I have a tree on my property. It's called a Bradford pear. Uh, at the start of every spring season, it sprouts these white flowers, just covered in white flowers, and it has a very distinct smell that a lot of people hate. I don't really mind it. Um, and then after a while, it sheds all the flowers, and it's just a tree with green leaves. It's my favorite tree because one, I just kind of think it's pretty, and two, it's like the first thing or one of the first things that blooms when spring comes, and so that's like Mother Nature's marker, like first marker of like, hey, we're in spring now. It's like be excited. And my Bradford pear has buds on it. It's like it's getting ready to like have flowers, and I'm so happy. I went outside for a while today. Took my daughter outside. I've been doing that on these nice, lovely days. I'm just so pumped, so excited for spring. Hello. I despise winter and everything it is and everything it stands for. I'm so ready for spring. Hope y'all are enjoying whatever weather you're having. I know we've had some less than favorable weather uh, in various parts of the United States lately, so I hope everyone's doing okay with that. I know not everyone's doing okay, but I hope everyone's doing as okay as they can be doing. We got some pretty strong winds where I'm at. Um, some trailers getting some 18 wheelers getting blown over. Um, we had some power lines get knocked down at my place of employment that were like live wires on the ground. We had to call the police. That was pretty great. Or lawn or fire. We 911. I think the fire department showed up. So yeah, that was fun. Not enjoying the weather. What's the weather like where you're at? Just all the crazy weather that's been coming through. Because I know I live in Kansas, and so we've been getting like all that wind, crazy wind. Um, but then I know just like a state over to the east is just death, storm systems, tornadoes, and all of this other stuff. And not here for it. It's cold. Well, hopefully that changes soon. I mean, I don't know where you live. It's changing to spring where I'm at. It is still quite cold at times, but hopefully, hopefully it gets to the weather that you like in Georgia. So you're probably waiting for spring too. It's coming. It is. Hang on, hang in there. I always get excited because like we'll get a week maybe of days in the 70s, maybe even 80s, and then I'll be looking at the weather forecast and I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be back in the 50s and 60s next week. Does it need to be? Why does it need to be? Why does it need to? Why does it? No, we go up, up, like wrong direction. Mother Nature, temperature, I don't know, ups, higher temperatures, please. Love spring. What's good, bro? Not much. What's good? Not much, honestly. Live in the U.S. right now, not much. What's good? Life, doing things. How are you? Hello. What's up? Good to see you. I love spring. I am so ready for spring. Grew up in southeast Kansas. I'm in like south central Kansas. I've been better. They hit me with the weed trafficking. I shake my head. Well, that's no fun. Used to live in Japan. How was that? Never been to Japan. I have only been to Mexico and some places in like South America. Is the only places that I've been out of the country. Never been anywhere else. It was amazing. Oh, well, nice. Why'd you leave? Why'd you leave? If it's so, and you live in Georgia, of all places. So like you stepped down. You took a step down. Like what made you come to the U.S. when Japan was treating you nicely? Because the U.S. ain't treating people nicely. School was over. Oh, I guess that makes sense. Well, maybe you just need to move to Japan one day. You just go back. Enjoy it. Oh, your mom died? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hello, Derek. I'm doing alright. How are you today? And a lot more happened. Life be like that. I'm sorry to hear that. I guess if there's any good news, it's spring. Hopefully you can enjoy spring, get a little bit of joy out of that. It's okay. I mean, it's life sometimes, unfortunately. But I'm glad you're here. And good to see you. And I hope things get better. I hope things are great for you in the future. I hope the weather warms up. I hope you get to move to a place that you like, that treats you well. I hope that you get people or keep people in your life who are good to you. I wish you nothing but the best. Issue is Judaism, Christianity, Islam believe in one God, but lack a single universal definition of who God is or how to interpret God's nature, due to diverse interpretations among Jews, Christians, and Muslims. It's definitely a big issue. Definitely a big issue. Even just within Christianity, I often say there's thousands of different denominations of Christianity, each with their own idea on what God is and what he wants. And then even within all those denominations, there's individual people who each have their own ideas of what God is and what he wants. I don't know how many different Christian gods have been presented to me in my comment sections and in my live chats. Like, he wants this, no, he wants this, and anyone who thinks otherwise isn't a true Christian because this is the real God. And it really just comes across as nobody knows what they're talking about. Everyone's just kind of making it up as they go along. Um, and yeah, it's definitely a big issue. It just becomes a mess. And I don't think Islam and Judaism have as many denominations, but it's still already a mess that they differ. The three religions that have the same God, that start with the same story and then just go different directions, differ so much. But even then, I think they still have some denominations, the other two. The water's not very full. Just makes you wonder. Just makes you wonder what's going on. And it doesn't help when there's so many Christians that haven't even read the Bible. They don't even know the source material. Because it's one thing if you read the source material and, twist it and have your own ideas, make your own ideas out of it. It's another thing when somebody else does that and then you hear it from them and twist their twisting and, reinterpret their reinterpreting. There's 45,000 different denominations and interpretations within Christianity, Judaism, and Islam have. In Christianity, Judaism, and Islam have 5 different denominations. Yeah, I didn't think it was a big number. Because I haven't heard of many denominations of Judaism. I know Islam has like 2 or 3. And then I'm sure there's like smaller sects, offshoots, like cults, maybe, if you will. I'm sure there's like this little group of like 20 Muslims, like just like Christianity has plenty of those. If we want to count those. I know they're not officially counted in the tally. I need it to rain. That's what I need it to do. I need it to rain. I think it's just dry. Hello. Welcome. Good to see you. I actually posted a video today. I haven't posted a video in like a week. I've just kind of been taking a step back and trying to get away from, and I was already trying to get away from this, but even more so focusing on trying to get away from just uploading just to upload, just to get a video out, and just start uploading when I actually have stuff to say. Especially because I've made some of the same content saying the same thing, like responding to the same comments, because the same comments keep getting made. It's like, how many different shorts am I going to make about this one topic? So trying to just be better, refine my content a little bit more, and that may very well, and will probably very well, continue to lead to less videos, but hopefully the quality will be worth it. I'm shooting for quality over quantity. You have a question, I might have an answer. I might. I'll probably have an answer. I'll probably have a response to some capacity. We'll just see what that answer is. you $1,000 right now if you try to do a backflip. No. No. Because here's the thing. I'm gonna fail. But if I'm gonna fail, because I would hope, like, if I fail and snap my neck and die, or I'm paralyzed, then I would hope that my family can still get the money. In that case, I would need a lot more than 1,000 to attempt it. I would need enough to, like, my family will be okay without me, before I try attempting a backflip. Even on even on a trampoline or anything. I have done a very I wouldn't even count it as a backflip. I had it's called bungee jumping. It's not bungee jumping, but it was called like some bungee jumping. It was at a local mall, and you have a harness with like bungee cords, and you jump up and down, and you jump on a trampoline, and like the bungee cords like pull you up when you jump, so you can like go high and stay in the air for a while. And I was doing like front flips and back flips for that because I had like 10 seconds in the air to do stuff with, and I was doing pretty good, for what it was, but that's as close as we're gonna get. I'll strap myself into one of those and like do one of those backflips for every 1,000, and I'll just sit there just making myself sick and dizzy to rack up like 1,000,000 in 1,000 flips. If I jump 5 times, you'll pay me $1,000. I don't even like jumping anymore. Like trampoline, I jump on trampolines and I feel like stuff's getting jostled. I'm getting old. Jews, Christians, Muslims accuse each other of false idol worshipping. They claim their religion is the one true religion, yet say other religions outside their own worship a false idol. Yep. That's a pretty good summarization of the relationship between them. Even though they all start with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Israel, and all that. Like they all start with the Torah, with the Pentateuch, all that. And the Quran even incorporates the Gospels. They just don't think that it's the same, because the Quran teaches that Jesus was a prophet, and even gives some of his quotes. But like he was, leading people to Allah. That he wasn't actually God's son, or Allah's son. Sorry, because Allah has no need for a son, and that Jesus didn't actually die. Someone else was made to look like him and put and crucified in his place, and did not rise from the dead, while Jesus was just called up to heaven. But even though it's a twisted account of the Gospels, they even still recognize Jesus in the Gospels. So it's just so much of the same story, just taken in different directions. It's almost like they're all just denominations of the same story themselves. Yo, bro, hello. How are you? I'm doing all right. $100 if you go outside and walk around. I don't live in the safest neighborhood, so I'm just gonna have to hard pass on that, even. Life is dangerous. I live in the type of neighborhood where like, probably fine. I'd probably be fine, but it's sketchy enough to where I'm not gonna try it. What's new in my neck of the woods? Not much. Just work, surviving. I dyed my hair for the first time in like a year, because I spent most of 2024 with a head injury, that prevented me from dyeing my hair. So that was fun. I had to rock just my natural hair color for a while, which I don't think it looked bad, but I just prefer the blonde. That's about it. Spring is on its way. Warmer weather. Things coming back to life. Here for it. 100%. Needs to hurry up and get here. Seasonal allergies have been coming with all that spring, but whatever, That's the only time I get like allergies from like outside. I'm allergic to cats and probably dogs. Uh, but like I don't really get allergic to pollen or stuff like that. But when the seasons change, the shift, the transition always gets me. I do not believe in God. No salvation outside the Catholic Church. Cool. I don't have any reason to believe in God. I'd be fine with believing that there was a guy named Jesus who existed and made some claims, gained a following, and got executed. I don't really have too many issues. There's some conflicting data on whether or not he actually existed, but I wouldn't argue against him existing. And I don't think there's a problem with it. Am I actually going to pay you what you use? No. I will not take your money. Alright, buddy, I don't need a backstory. First off, I didn't give you a backstory. Second, rude. Yeah, you did. What was the backstory? Oh, earlier? You might be a little behind when I was talking about my concussion, my head injury. No, man, you're rude. I'm just sitting here, my guy. I'm just sitting here talking to people. I don't know. Sorry if I came across as rude. For not believing in Jesus and God. I don't think that's rude. It's just honesty. You asked me a question and I answered it. I'm sorry if you don't like the answer. I mean, a lot of people don't like that as an answer. A lot of people don't like that I don't believe in God. I'll take your money, Chess. You didn't see the bad guy jump on the bait for on the bait. You know what? You're right. You're right. I did not see that. You got me there. You know what I don't like? When I ask questions in church and I get kicked out. It's not the greatest thing. It's not the greatest thing. I've been thinking about um, going to some churches, to like just some different churches, to see how different denominations celebrate Mass. Not looking for a church, not looking to get back into Christianity at all, but just for research purposes. And I would just need to sit there and be quiet. Shut up. Don't be. I would not want to be disrespectful at all. I would just kind of sit there and watch. God's real. Okay. I imagine it's probably uncomfortable. Somebody stands up and starts asking questions in the middle of Mass. It's probably like, I'd be uncomfortable as a parishioner of that church, or as just a person in that church. I'd be uncomfortable. But we should be able to ask questions, and priests and pastors should have those answers. Should have the answers to those questions. I wouldn't mind like pulling some priests or pastors off to the side, like not gonna interrupt their mass or service or whatever, but like pulling them off to the side in their free time and just like picking their brain. I think that'd be interesting. I think it'd be very interesting. Yeah, you would think pastors have answers to questions, but they just get mad. I think a lot of them, even if they went to like answer the questions, I think it would just be a lot of just preaching and proselytizing. I don't think it'd be like genuine I don't think it'd be like the conversation of the answers that we'd be looking for. If I do a handstand for 10 seconds, you'll pay me 150. I can't do a handstand. I think I might have better luck doing a backflip. I don't like being upside down. My body doesn't move anymore. It's just like it doesn't like being upside down. It doesn't like jumping. It doesn't like getting out of bed. It doesn't like it. And I'm not even that old. And like I try to like eat well, and I have a pretty physically demanding job, so like I'm active. I need to work on stretching more and drinking more water. I think those are like the two areas I really need to focus on. It's over 10 seconds done. Okay, now pay me. That just reminds me of like, it just made me think of those hypotheticals. It's like, would you slap your mom for $1,000,000? It's like, I think my mom would be upset if I didn't, and then I could split the money with her. I think my mom would be completely on board with that. Like, can we make this not a hypothetical? I feel like that's death life right now. Just like I can do a backflip. I can stand up and do a handstand. Like, give me money. Hello, my love. Stay on one leg without moving for a minute and 30 seconds. I'll pay 200. I could probably balance for. I could stand on a leg for a minute and 30 seconds. I'm a little trapped. I'd have to like move my table. I don't want to do that. So I guess I just won't. But I could probably do that. And do it. What if I don't want to? Hello, Lizzie. I don't know what that means. But hello. What do I pay on? I don't. I pay my I get paid by my place of employment, direct deposit into my bank. That is where I get paid from. That is how I get paid. So that is how I make my money. It'd be cool if I could make money just doing, balancing on one leg or doing backflips or handstands or whatever. If I could just make a living off of that, I'll dance like a monkey if I could get a good living for my family. Just watch Moana 2. How was that? And I've had some drinks. Always good. Always good. I hope you're gonna behave yourself in my live stream. Visited an antique store not too long ago, and some of the stuff I saw there, I was like, I'm not that old. No. Yeah. Yeah. I've had those feelings before. We are. I mean, I'm getting up there in age. I don't know how old you are. I'm 27. Like I'm getting up there. Not really. I'm still young, but like not a kid anymore. Sucks. Stupid. Get my juice box and my pillow fort. I actually have juice pouches in the fridge. I think. I just have that. I think I have ice cream. I mean, hell, actually, I'm doing pretty good. Little kid me would probably be pretty happy. I got cake. I got a couple brownies in there, Rice Krispie treats, ice cream, a bowl of candy that's almost empty, but like, whatever. I got some food in there. I got some Frosted Flakes. I love that. Pop Tarts. What else do I got? I got some stuff. I got some frozen pizzas. I got some stuff that I'm sure would make me happy. 3027 is nothing. I'll get there eventually. My 10-year high school reunion is next year. Is in about a year. Don't know how I feel about that. Don't know how I feel about it, the fact that I've been out of high school for 10 years. That's one thing, but also going. Uh, I went to Catholic school, K through 12th grade, and I'm not anymore. And most of the people who did go, who will be there, are probably still some form of Christian. You know what? Moana 2 with CC. It's on Disney Plus right now. Okay. I'm not that old either, and neither are 8 tracks. You know what? You're right. You're right. Not even gonna lie, I just looked up what 8 tracks are. Cause I'm not that old. I'm as old as like I had VHS tapes and cassette tapes. Gen Z is almost 30 years old, while Gen Beta was just born as of January 2025. Oh yeah. No, when I was in college, I was born in 97. And when I was in college, I had high schoolers in there who were like born in 2005 or whatever. It's just like it's not that big of a year difference, but it's just like you hit the 2000s. Like I remembered 2005 being a kid, and that's when you were born. That's I felt a little bit old. What I shouldn't have. Maybe it's just I wasn't the oldest person in the class. There was somebody in there who was like in their 30s or 40s, so that made me feel a little bit better. But still, I mean, good on them for getting into a college Spanish class. But what is time? Time flies. I do like that I was born like in 97, because that's just going to become like a bigger deal as I get older. You know, as more people populate the earth who were born in the 2000s, I'll be like, I was born in the 90s. And one day, and one day when, you know, if I live to be old enough, a lot of these people who can brag about being born in like the 70s or 80s or whatever will have died out. So like I'll be like the old person, and like 1997 will be something so far away. It's like, wow, you were born in the 90s. That's crazy. And like, I'll be cool because I'll be old. I'm back. Hello. When everyone thought the world was going to end in 2000. I don't remember it happening. No, I was 3. I've heard plenty of it. Hello. But I don't remember it. I have memories of when I was like in preschool, like 4, maybe 3, but I don't have that specific memory. Just like 9/11. I don't remember anything seeing anything on 9/11 when I was a kid, or when I was like 4. But I have memories of when I was 4. So maybe my parents just didn't watch that on the news around me or whatever. It's probably a good idea. Now you're watching Wish. All right, you'll have to tell me how that is. 'Cause I know Lizzie's been hyping that up. I had to negotiate with my dad for like $7,000 if you stand on your left leg for 4 minutes without moving an inch. Absolutely not. What is this? Some kind of extreme sobriety test? Some of those sobriety tests are just stupid. I wouldn't. I haven't had a drink in over a year, and I wouldn't pass some of those sobriety tests. Jesus is King, cool. I don't really buy into that, but cool. Especially, I can stand on one leg for a little while. I don't know if I can do it for 4 minutes, and I definitely can't do it. I got some wobbles. I'll do some wobbles to help balance myself. I can't stay perfect still. Problem is the 90s is broken into two separate generations, Gen Z and Gen Millennial. Yeah. But it's like, it'll be cool when I'm older and like all those people who were born in the earlier 90s who can really call themselves 90s kids and brag and hold that over me and think that they're cooler than me will have died off. So like, I'll be the cool person now by default. Well, God will always accept you. Okay. Maybe we'll call that Plan B. What kind of shows do I like watching? It's a great question. I don't watch a whole lot of shows. I've been watching Squid Game with my wife. I like Rick and Morty. Avatar: The Last Airbender is probably like my favorite show. It's pretty cool. I don't even know what that is, Chase. Oh, is that supposed to be? It's supposed to be 9/11. 9/11's not funny. A lot of people died. It is a great reminder of the harm and horrors of religion. Uh, but not funny. That's you should wanna. You can make it Plan B. You can make it Plan B. But if your life is hard, start praying. He will always help you. Not true. I from back when I did pray and was a devout Christian and thought I had a good relationship with God, comparing that to now that I don't pray, the frequency with which I get things that I want and that things work out for me has not changed. So there's really been no noticeable difference. So it's almost like he was never answering to begin with. Also, I don't know how you can really demonstrate or prove any of that. I know Jesus says that if you ask for something and you're sincere and you have forgiven everyone who's wronged you, you're not holding any hatred or anything in your heart. Uh, whatever you ask, God will give you. But like that's just kind of bullshit. Praying isn't about getting gifts from God every time. I know that, but it's for asking for help. And when it doesn't seem to do anything, you know when nothing seems different now that I've stopped praying. I'm not trying to treat God as a genie, but like prayer is asking for help. And if he's going to help, then there should be some kind of something, an answer of sorts. Yes, but he's always there to talk if you need it, detective. Well, yeah, I can talk to myself too. Nobody knows me better than myself. I talk to myself all the time. It's very helpful. Those are all good shows. I like them. It's all about developing relationships and to connect with God. I have done that. Oh, I thought you were calling me detective. I didn't realize his name was detective. I laughed because I thought it was like a clever jab. Anyway. Those are all good shows. I like them. My daughter got she went to one of those little coin machines where you can get a little like prize out, and she's got a little keychain of Pickle Rick, and she loves it, and she doesn't even know Rick and Morty, but she still like loves it, and she's like so happy about it. And I'm just like, I love that you're happy about it, and maybe one day I can teach you to be even happier about it, because that's like that's a great episode of a great show. Um, Pickle Rick is great. So she just has a little keychain of Pickle Rick in her thing now. If you know God, you need no fear. Maybe. Atheism ain't it, bruh. Always follow your truth. Atheism ain't it, bruh. Always follow your truth. I have no reason to believe that a God exists. Therefore, I'm an atheist. That's that's my truth. My honest answer. The other problem with Abrahamic religions is they think they can preach to the faithless or people of different beliefs than them trying to convert them, which is stupid and annoying as hell. Well, they're trying. I was raised, because I was raised Christian, and went to Christian school and everything. I was raised that not only is it our Christian duty to help try to save people and save people from hell, um, there's also like genuine concern. You love people, you love God's creation, we're all God's people and whatnot, so you want to try to, you don't want people to burn in hell, so you want to try to save them. I even had a religion teacher take it an extra step further once and say, if you see somebody sinning, especially someone close to you, or someone that you have some kind of opportunity to do something about, and you don't do anything to help them, then you are at least partially guilty for their sin, because you just let it happen. You need to even try to save them, especially when you're supposed to save them. You've been instructed by Jesus to save them. So, yeah, it can get a little annoying and whatnot, sure, but it, a lot of the times, it comes from a good place. Like, I don't think I've had anyone in this chat tonight just shitting on me. It's just you know, giving me some holier than thou Bible thumping or whatever. The people in the chat so far tonight who have been advocating for Christianity seem to be genuine and cool, and I appreciate the sentiment. I really do. It's very nice and it's caring and it's great. Like, the sentiment's there, but I just don't believe it. I just don't have any reason to believe or conform or subscribe to that system of beliefs. Comes misconception: those people who are supposedly forcibly converting shouldn't be doing that. People who are supposedly forcibly converting shouldn't be doing that. Forcefully converting. Forcefully converting. Yeah. Yeah. It's God who converts. Yeah. So, not by force, but like, you should be, to an extent, preaching and like trying to help them and stuff. Not necessarily force. Definitely not through laws, forcing a system of beliefs on anyone. But then I feel like you get into that territory with childhood indoctrination. It's kind of forcing religion on kids. You can guide them, but can't force them. It's their choice. Yeah. That's how it's supposed to be. Back when I had to negotiate again with my dad, but I'll pay $8,000 if you do 1,500 jumping jacks, and I will allow you to take 3 1-minute breaks. It's actually quite generous. It doesn't sound completely impossible. You're coming up with good scenarios. Like, maybe that's actually debatable. You know, some adults choose God. Yes, I am fully aware. But I also know that raising a child Christian in a system of beliefs, only keeping them within that bubble, not really letting them escape out of that bubble or question it or anything like that, can be seen as kind of a type of force, because they don't know any better. So that could kind of get into the territory of forcing religion. Well, yeah, they need to be open-minded. I agree. I agree too. And there are a lot of Christian denominations and Christians who don't think that people should be open-minded. God exists outside of the human construct of religion, first of all. Second, you, as well as Christians, call it God, but that's just a title for the creator of the universe. Sure. Assuming a God exists, then yeah. But also, if, say, the Christian God exists and the Bible is his inspired word, then technically he does still exist within the confines of a religion. However twisted the religion may have become over time because it's been put in the hands of humans, and how are they supposed to preserve something so perfect? Um, there was at least an attempt. There's still some kind of remnant. Um, if you're advocating for a God that has no part in any religion, like religions are man-made, then sure, maybe. In order to deny the existence of, I'm sorry, in order to deny the existence of a creator, you must prove one, that the universe is infinite, and two, that something can come from absolutely nothing. No, I don't have to. Not being able, I don't need to come up with another explanation to disprove your explanation when your explanation doesn't have any evidence. Because it can't be a, well, what else can it be type of argument. I don't know what else it can be. I also don't believe that something came from nothing, and a lot of atheists don't believe that something came from nothing, because what does that even mean? What is nothing? What is nothing? And how can nothing do anything? I don't really think there's ever been any nothing. And Death Life, I'm glad that you put that back in. A cow's favorite drink, a smoothie. I like it. Um, yeah, I don't have to prove anything. There's a saying, that which is claimed without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. I don't need a better explanation to refute an explanation that doesn't have evidence. We can just say we don't know. That's the only intellectually honest answer. Well, then you're being intellectually dishonest, no offense. I don't think I am. We don't know. That's intellectual honesty. We don't know. And we can't play God of the gaps and say we don't know, therefore God, because that line of thinking has failed us in the past many times. We used to not know how the seasons changed, or where the sun went at night, or how natural disasters occurred, or we didn't understand eclipses, diseases, insect swarms, and plenty of people throughout different cultures and religions have come up with various supernatural explanations to explain these things. Now we have natural, credible, evidence-backed scientific explanations for these things that don't require supernatural entities. So this whole, I don't know what it is, therefore it must be something supernatural magic, it hasn't worked. So if we don't know, then we don't know. And that's the definition of intellectual honesty is knowing when you don't know and being honest when you just don't know. Knowing and understanding are not the same thing. I agree, but we still have nothing. Either one, there is a God that lies outside matter, space, and time. Or, I'm sorry, either one, there is a God that lies outside of matter, space, and time, or two, logical paradox. No. Just because you don't know how something works or don't understand how something works does not mean that it must simply be a God or some other supernatural explanation. That is a God of the gaps fallacy, and it does not work, unfortunately. What's my main argument? I don't really have a main argument. I don't believe in the existence of a God. Well, then what doesn't work exactly? Plugging in supernatural answers without any actual evidence when you don't have an answer, and using that lack of an answer as evidence, saying it can't be anything else, therefore it must be God, when that just doesn't work. Because it used to people used to think that gods and spirits, depending on the culture, were responsible for the seasons changing. Now we know that it's because of Earth's tilt on its axis that the seasons change. So there's no divine god or spirit or anything like that changing the seasons every 3 months. I'm not really a religious person, but religion is mostly less about explaining stuff and more about giving order to a society. I think you can have order without religion. And how is the universe so perfectly fine-tuned and created? I don't really know. Chances of happening is like 1 in a big number. How did you figure that? Because we don't really have other universes to look at to compare of like how things could have been. As far as we know, this was the inevitable outcome of the universe. This is just what the universe does. And we just appeared in it. It's just a natural process of the universe. And we don't understand all of those, and that's fine. And I'm not ruling out the possibility that it could be something supernatural or divine, but I'm not going to plug that in until we have evidence for it. If gravity were a little bit stronger or weaker, our universe would be unstable. How do you know that? Or would it just settle into something different? Could the laws be completely different but still produce some kind of life that then is sitting there thinking, oh, look how perfect we are? I'm really upset. You guys are giving me good discussions and stuff when I have like, I was planning on ending this at like the hour mark tonight because I still need dinner. And that's in like 8 minutes. And now y'all are packing me with like good discussions and arguments. We define all of physics. We don't know how another universe could have worked. It's like there's not laws of the universe or laws of physics in a way of like it had to have been this way. This is just how it is and how it came about. And the universe is big, seemingly infinite, if not infinite. And it's filled with a lot of stuff and it does a lot of stuff. And somewhere down the line, humans and life came about. I'm not sure if you could do that, but I'm sorry. I'm not sure if you do that, but I feel like no human or natural force would accomplish that. Maybe. And I'm not really, I don't know. I'm not really here for the fine-tuning argument or the, I don't know. It's not compelling. Because just because you don't understand how something works or don't know how something works or even how things look crazy. And I know this isn't your argument, but when people say, well, of course there's a God because look at the trees. I look at the trees. They're fucking weird. What's a tree? Why is it there? Why did it grow like that? What am I? Some weird conscious sentient thing. It's weird. Why physics? Why do physics exist? Why does everything work the way that it does? These are great questions. These are amazing questions. And I'm sitting here just as perplexed as you. The difference is I leave my perplexity as it is until I have reason to believe in an explanation for these things. But I'm not going to sit here and say this is so crazy and complex and so weird and I don't understand it, therefore it simply must be God. Because that just doesn't work. It's a God of the gaps fallacy, and that line of thinking has failed us a number of times throughout human history. Every human life is a little miracle according to the math. The Fibonacci sequence exists in every natural structure. The double slit experience proves that light can behave like matter and vice versa. All proof of divinity. Not really either of those. I do forget what the Fibonacci sequence is. Which elements is the sum of two elements that preceded? Oh, yeah. It's just I'm not going to sit here and pretend that there's not some kind of order and structure to the universe, but it would seem that that's just something the universe does, whether it be from some divine something or not. And I don't think the double slit experiment um, does anything to prove a creator. Not sure how we get. Yeah. Wave particle duality of light and matter, showing that they can exhibit both wave-like and particle-like behavior, and that the act of observation can influence their behavior. Cool. I don't know how that gets us to a god. Igniting the existence of a creator is a grave mistake. Do it at your own risk, but you've been warned. The issue isn't belief here. The issue is faith. Same thing, kind of. And I bet that's what you're doing right now. The issue is faith, and I bet that's what I'm doing right now. I don't have faith. Faith is an unreliable path to the truth. You can have faith in literally anything. Faith is what you use when you don't have any actual reason to believe. And plenty of different religions and systems of beliefs who have equal evidence and equal reason to believe use faith just to plug it in. I could have faith that this water bottle is going to turn into a unicorn one day and carry me off to Valhalla. So when all these systems of beliefs are all relying on faith to just fill in their gaps, who do I believe? And how could I possibly know? That's when you start looking for evidence. I'm not looking for faith. You may have some evidence that you can present it. You may. Also, if I missed anybody's chat, kind of started moving fast. I think I got everybody's. I'm sorry if I missed anybody's. If I didn't respond, feel free to just put it again. Sometimes chat moves and like I'll stop at somebody and read it for a while and like have to skip chat or whatever. So sometimes I miss. I'm not trying to ignore anybody. So if I did miss, feel free to just put it down in the chat. You believe that having a good set of morals matter? I think so. Let's talk about the Bible. Do you think it's real or made up? I think at best it seems to be historical fiction, which means some of it I do believe is made up, but some of it does seem to be based on real events, like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer. That movie has a lot of the events of Abraham Lincoln's life. It has Abraham Lincoln, who's a real person, but he wasn't fighting vampires. So it's his history and stuff that happened with other fictional elements woven into it. I think at best, parts of the Bible are historical fiction. Sorry. Faith without knowledge is blind or dead faith. I mean, I think faith is supposed to be without knowledge. I think faith without knowledge is faith. Believe in the power of love? Sure. So analyze the connections. All right, true. You have a good one. Peace and love. Have a good one, Death Life. Thank you for stopping by. I probably won't stay live for too much longer. I do need food. It's getting late. So I was planning on stopping at an hour. I mean, usually in my lives, I say I'll stop at an hour, and then I'll go like 15 minutes past. But like, hoping to keep it a little bit closer to an hour. I could be saying, and somebody could be watching this in the future, be like, he still has 15 minutes in the video. The Bible was written by several different people over several 100,000 years, and yet there are hundreds of connections. Connections, but also contradictions. Even historical fiction cannot keep up with that. Connections and contradictions based on the same stories that were passed down orally long before they were written down. This is something that, what's the word I'm looking for? What's what I'm looking for? Culturally, these were cultural things, beliefs, stories, uh, passed down orally. Contradictions. I'm sorry, give me a second. I promise I'm not trying to avoid you. God is good, cool. Um, Contradictions. There's a lot of contradictions in the Gospels. Like the resurrection account. How many people went to the tomb? Who did Jesus visit? At what point? What happened at the tomb? Was the stone already rolled away? Did it get rolled away in an earthquake? Was there one angel, two angels? Did the apostles go? Did some of the apostles go to the tomb? Did they not? It says that there's this idea, I don't even know if it's mentioned in the Bible, this idea of free will, having a free choice, even though God intentionally hardens Pharaoh's heart multiple times in the Exodus story. Sorry. Thou shalt not kill, but also the Canaanites. The book of Joshua, just an absolute crusade, killing men, women, children. There's this idea that God is good, and he's not in the Bible. There's I guess we might be able to count when God lies to Adam and Eve, saying that they're going to die immediately in the day that they eat of the fruit, and then they don't. That's a lot. I apologize. I should have stopped at like 3. Yeah, my throat is protesting right now. No, it finally happened. I'm out of water. It's fine. Yes, free will. Free will is an issue. Although I don't know if the Bible really mentions giving free will. Yes, because that meant separation from the Creator, therefore a hell by definition. But that's not really how the language is used. The language is used as you will die. Right here, right now, you will just cease to live. And then Adam and Eve lived to be quite old. Then there are times where I won't give more. I'm sorry. I already heaped. They did die of old age. They did not die in the day that they ate the fruit. Also, the Adam and Eve story is just an entire fucking mess. There was no death in Eden, sure. Although there kind of was. Or something. Well, yeah, but the tree of life was also there. That was giving them, that would have given them eternal life. There was the tree of life, and then there was the tree of knowledge of good and evil, both of which they were forbidden to eat. The tree of life to make them essentially immortal, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil to give them knowledge of good and evil. And they had the knowledge of good and evil, and there was consequences for that, even though there shouldn't have been, because God totally set them up for failure, which I can go into. I'm sorry, elaborate on the mess of the Garden of Eden, because I would love to elaborate on that. And I do apologize. There's a delay, so I might be rambling on, and you might be like 30 or so seconds. Yeah, I'm sorry. You might be a little ways behind me Like, I just got your message on chat delay, never mind. So, Genesis is completely mistranslated and seemingly made up, but I don't know. Genesis is just seems to be a lot of origin stories and creation stories. That aren't really backed by evidence. There are some stories in the Bible that aren't backed by evidence. No evidence of a global flood. No evidence of, an Adam and Eve or whatever else have you. No evidence of the Exodus from Egypt. No evidence of Moses. So yeah. I mean, Genesis had to be read from an ancient Near Eastern perspective, maybe. It really was like obviously written for a different people, which only further gives credibility to how human-made it is. Because I made a post today about slavery versus servitude in the Bible, and somebody said, so does God condone slavery, or was that just a period of time was that just for a period of time based on a specific time period? Any God saying any of this stuff should know what's always going to happen and how things are always going to be. So it's not, and he does not seem bothered by societal norms. Repeat the comment. It's not very well written. So the Bible condones slavery, or is that just for a period of time based on the specific time period? And I'm describing that it shouldn't be limited. Like God seems perfectly fine with and seems to advocate for slavery. And people like to argue, well, that's just like at the time that was just how things went. First off, God didn't give a crap what the societal norms were. He regularly tried to push people away from the ways of the world and the ways of other nations and societal norms and stuff. And two, if it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. Now, so not only should he not be hindered by societal norms, but if we figure out later in the future that it's wrong, surely God should have known at that time that it was and has always been wrong, and he could have just said that it was wrong. I'm on Discord. I'd love to have a conversation with you. I don't have a Discord. And I do actually have a Discord that I half made. I haven't fleshed it out or released it yet, mostly because I'm scared. I don't know if I'll be able to properly moderate it. Because I want to make sure everyone's good. I want to make sure it's a good, comfortable, open space for everyone. And I can't be checking Discord all day, every day, while there's just free chat and stuff going around and moderating. I can't do that. So I can't provide that. I can't be there to keep an eye on things and to make sure everyone's doing okay and everything's fine, unfortunately. So the best I have is this. And I hate that that's the best that I have, because I can just sit here and freely talk. You guys are limited by chat, by character limits, by delays, by so many things that makes this a very, very broken conversation. And I hate it. But I don't really have anything better at the time. There's no need to justify the Old Testament stuff due to the fact that Old Testament law isn't seen as perfect, nor was that its function. Yeah, but there are parts of the Old Testament that still stand. Like the story of Adam and Eve still stands, and the original sin that came from that. The Ten Commandments are from the Old Testament. And there are bits and pieces that we still get from the Old Testament that we still kind of cling on to, almost like we've cherry picked it. Old Testament also didn't argue on what was better, democracy or monarchy. Well, God didn't want them to have a king, so there was that. It was supposed to tell them how to live morally within the system that was already in place. But he also just kind of went against the ways of the world. So it kind of seemed like he was trying to create his own system and was very, very specific. There are entire books written just giving laws on how you're supposed to live your life according to the Old Testament. So he was very thorough in giving them a way of living. God gave him the king as a compromise, yeah. No, hold on, let me cook. Also, the Old Testament, the New Testament also supports slavery, just as the Old Testament. Um, Jesus, for one, says not one jot or title shall be gotten rid of from the law. So he says that the law still stands. He does then tweak some of the laws, although he also at one point seems to um, chastise some of like the religious leaders for not stoning kids to death who disobey their parents. It's like Moses said, do this, but like you don't. No, hold on, let me cook. Well, I am gonna have to end the live soon. See what I say. We're already 12 minutes past an hour. Because I do enjoy these live streams. I really do. I enjoy this conversation. Um, I love all of it, and I'm super happy when I get conversations like this, and we can have these kind of back and forths. Shall we continue tomorrow? I actually should be live tomorrow. I usually go live every week on Tuesday nights at usually at about 9:30 ish Central Standard Time, PM. Is that Central Standard Time? I've been trying to squeeze in some extra live streams throughout the week when I can. Hence why I'm doing it right now on a Monday, because I can. I can't always guarantee if or when any of those extra live streams will happen, but most of the time on the Tuesday night live streams, I am here. Every now and then I have to cancel it just because I have a life outside of this that gets in the way. Um, but yeah, so it'll be about this time. Because I went live at about the same time as I usually do. I actually went live like 30, 45, like 15 to 30 minutes later than I usually do. And I usually go this long. So I usually be ending my live stream at about this time, maybe like 15 minutes prior to this time, after going for a little over an hour. So about this time. So if you were able to make it tonight in this time frame, and this time frame sounds good for tomorrow night, I should be live, and it should be great. And I would look forward to seeing for seeing y'all tomorrow as well, because you guys are making good conversation. You're asking good questions and having good. You're doing. I love what you're doing, and I would like it to continue. I like getting this in my live streams. So, with that, I will go ahead and end this live stream. Thank you so much, everyone who joined, even people who just stopped by for a second. I'm a random nobody on the internet, so anybody giving me any second of their time is really, really, really cool. Especially anyone who stayed, even if you just lurked and didn't comment or anything, that's fine. I see you, kind of. Um, I see you. I see a number of how many viewers I have, and usually it's a little bit more than how many different people are in chat. So, like, I see you, love you, thank you for being here. Anyone who likes, engages in chats, subscribes, anything like that, it's always super cool. And especially when people, I do have some reoccurring people who will come in my chats and comments regularly, or who will subscribe and stick around. I think that's really cool. because I do just think I'm a random nobody. But anyway, thank you all sincerely so much for being here. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your night. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow or some other time. Have a good night, day, or wherever it is. Bye.